A while back, I asked you all what types of Midjourney style reference codes you wanted to see most, and nearly half the votes went to illustration styles. So today I have 10 illustration style SREF codes for you to try out. These codes are all from my illustration SREF guides, which you can find in the links below. All right, let's get started. First up is Ochre Saga. Now, I want to provide a little bit of context so that you get the most out of this video. In my previous SREF code videos, I showed you the base style for each SREF code, which is what we're looking at here. By using simple prompts, you get a general sense of the potential for that SREF. Ochre Saga's base style, for example, ranges from photorealism to illustrations, but you can see how it leans more towards an illustration look. If I think an SREF would work well for illustrations, I run a second set of prompts that specifically include the word illustration. This helps showcase the SREF's potential in that style. The illustration style results all have a nice, warm, painterly storybook quality. It's a really versatile SREF code that works well with a wide range of subjects, and it's one of my favorites for illustrations. But you can see how if we just look at the base style, we don't really get the full picture as to how that SREF performs with different illustration prompts. That's why for the rest of this video, I'll be showing you results from prompts that include the word illustration, so you know exactly what to expect for illustration-directed prompts. All right, next we have Limelight. This SREF code produces a fun and vibrant style that combines a painterly look with loosely sketched lines, and the standout colors here are shades of green. To create your own images with this style or any of the other SREF codes in this video, just add the style reference parameter followed by the SREF code number in your prompt. Silvergraph. This is a wonderful, fine-lined, monochrome sketch drawing style. Backgrounds are often minimalistic and shades of gray by default. Sometimes it will throw in a pop of color, but if you want color with this style, you'll have to make sure that you prompt for it. This SREF is somewhat similar to the stick and poke style that I shared in a previous video, but this one is a bit more versatile and less detailed. Feather Blue. A clean illustration style featuring flat vector-style graphics. Light blue is the primary accent color, and subjects are commonly placed against white backgrounds by default. I think this would be a really cute style for sticker designs. Citrus Synthwave. If orange is your color, this one is for you. This is a bright, orange-dominant vector illustration style with retro vibes. This is a heavy style, which means that it can more easily overpower or ignore details in your text prompt. So remember that you can use the style weight parameter SW with any SREF to increase or decrease the intensity of that style. The default value for style weight is 100, and here's what that SREF looks like when I decrease it to 25. We still have orange, mostly vector style illustrations, but there's quite a bit more detail. Retro Curiosities. This is a whimsical, detailed realism illustration style. This SREF likes to incorporate stylized, botanical, and fantasy elements, and the color palette is slightly muted earth tones with green and black. And before we move on to the last few, I should mention that these images were all created with Midjourney's v6.0 model, but all of these SREFs can be used with any of their v6 models. Woodland Watercolor. This style combines watercolor textures with fine-lined illustrations. The color palette for this SREF is another earthy one with a blend of browns, greens, and grays. Bluetoon. This is a great, bold, cartoon illustration style. Characters often have expressive features, especially their eyes. Animals tend to be anthropomorphized and dressed up in clothing. If you want to make classic cartoon images, try this one out. Sunbeam Sketch. Here we have another watercolor illustration style, but this one is quite a bit more colorful. Subjects are drawn with fine lines and attention to detail, while the background is filled with abstract watercolor elements. It's a nice combination. Apricot Breeze. This SREF creates really cute painterly illustrations with a warm color palette. Eyes are often expressive. The dog image here almost has a Japanese kawaii element to it. I think this would be a really fun SREF to explore for children's book illustrations. So these SREF codes can be used with any of Midjourney's V6 models. I used V6.0 to create these images, but you can also use them in 6.1 and the soon-to-be released 6.2. If we compare SREF results from 6.0 to 6.1, we can see that the overall style remains the same, which it should because the V6 models all work in the same style space. However, there are some subtle differences. The 6.1 results tend to look a little more simplistic and less detailed. So if you want a cleaner look with some of these SREFs, you might try them in 6.1. You'll get the same general style, but perhaps with a little less detail and complexity. V6.1 is a new model after all with its own characteristics. And for even more illustration style SREF codes, be sure to check out these two guides that I have available. I also just released a new collection of 100 SREF codes. There are some real gems in there, especially for photographic styles. All of my Midjourney guides are included with some Patreon tiers, or you can find them in my shop. I also do monthly prompt collections over on Patreon. The topics for August were old technical drawings and travel posters, which was pretty fun. If this sounds interesting to you, I'll leave a link up on the screen and down below. I hope you enjoyed some of these illustration style SREF codes and we'll try them out. As always, please be sure to like, subscribe, all the things. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.